Coming up on Present Arms, Team Refuse looks to continue his streak, but was high voltage too much for them to handle on the first night? And after a bye on the Tuesday, can I Love Lamp break its losing streak against the Red Hot Refuse on the second? The two newcomers to the Gold League, Rival and Maple Freedom, also look to find some points in the second week, but which one of these two teams has what it takes? And Oxmathus does it again. See what play had Toma and Negatron in pure awe on the highlight of the week.
Welcome to Gold League Season 6.
Arms. I'm your host, Christian Bullock, aka Meadowhawk. Week 2 saw some fierce competition as well as some clean sweeps. Let's go ahead and cover this week's scores. On the first night, #RU started things off with a clean sweep 5-0 win over Game Over. Game Over still looks like they're trying to figure out the changes in Season 5 as #RU had very little trouble taking this match. Last week, Cool Hammer told us their match against High Voltage would be electrifying, and indeed it was. After some stunning play on Lakeville, the game went into overtime on Ruinberg, where Team Refuse managed to hold the Vents to take the match 5-4. Newcomers Team Rival shocked many in Gold League, seemingly pushing aside the veteran Synergy to earn their first points in Gold. After splitting the first two games, Rival went on to take the next 4 straight for a 5-1 victory. Maple Freedom was hoping to achieve the same against 07, but 07 dominated them 4-0 on the first map. They were only able to delay the inevitable on Ghost Town, winning the first game, but they dropped the second to lose 5-1. Night 2 started off with a great matchup as Elevate battled Nobel in a bid to keep their winning streak going. Nobel started off great splitting Himmelsdorf, but they may have made an error choosing Steps as their next map as Elevate won 3 straight to take the match 5-2. Elevate is 6-1 on Steps this season. Perhaps other teams should take note. Next up was the classic rivalry between #RU and Simp. Both teams looked strong on Himmelsdorf, but Simp stumbled on Lakeville as #RU won the final 3 games for a 5-3 victory. I Love Lamp would have a hard time breaking their losing streak against a red-hot Team Refuse. While the matches were very close, some minor mistakes gave the edge to Team Refuse, who remains undefeated. And lastly, Game Over was swept 5-0 for a second time this week by Team Synergy in a game that had Negatron declaring, "This match is clearly defined that Game Over is the worst team in the league." And ending on that sharp comment, obviously meant to spur Game On into action. Let's look at the standings. Team Refuse still sits at the top, undefeated, followed by #RU, 07, and Elevate. And rounding out the bottom 4 are Nobel, Maple Freedom, I Love Lamp, and Game Over. And now with their plans to discuss how to get themselves back to the top of the standings is Ben Mongeon, aka Comps, from Team Nobel. Thank you for joining us, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
So you're currently sitting in 9th after a roller coaster start, losing 2 close games against the highly experienced High Voltage and Elevate. Then you clean swept Lamp with a 5-0 victory. What is your approach to dealing with your next opponent, the undefeated Team Refuse?
Our approach to deal with this is more prep. I mean, we practiced a lot before the season started, and we decided to test ourselves with High Voltage. We thought we did relatively well on Himmelsdorf, but they completely wrecked us on Mines. So then we just practiced more and more, and then that showed when we faced off Lamp when we 5-0'd them. Now, we thought we were doing relatively well going to Elevate. We think we did reasonably well on Himmelsdorf again, but then when it came to Steps, we just choked. We weren't prepared for it, and they outplayed us. So going to face off with Team Refuse, we're just going to practice more. We've recently made a new addition in the roster change period. We've added Friction of former Fnatic glory, and I think he's just going to step up and help us out to deal with our team issues.
And historically, your team has always done well on city maps, and Himmelsdorf is currently your strongest map this season. Are you finding any ways to incorporate your strong play into other non-city maps, such as Mines or Steps?
Yep. I mean, Himmelsdorf is a map that we've played since Season 1, so all our 742 experience has somewhat carried over. Now, for the new maps in the rotation this season, we just feel that we need to put work in, prep a lot, practice. And if we put the same amount of work in that we've put into Himmelsdorf, then our results should show.
Has your team been feeling any pressure having taken over the Nobel sponsorship that the Googly Boppers dropped last year? They also seemed to struggle once they became Nobel.
Nope, there's no pressure whatsoever with being sponsored. The Nobel guys have been really nice to us. They've been helping us out, but they've been pretty much leaving us to do our own thing when it comes to playing World of Tanks. So we don't have any other commitments than to play our own game and do the best we can.
Well, thanks for joining us, Ben. Best of luck to you in week number 3. I'll see you on the battlefield in week number 4.
Thanks for having me.
And speaking of Himmelsdorf, it hasn't fared too well in the map meta. Let's look at the map breakdown after week 2. Steppes has seen a large increase in popularity, up almost 6%, and teams look to be more comfortable on Lakeville as it gains a 3% share. Mines takes the largest loss, losing 4%, followed closely by Himmelsdorf at 3%. This week's highlight of the week is truly a demonstration of the fear that a proper artillery player can impose on the battlefield. Oxmathus hits not 1, but 2 completely blind shots to open up the lane for his teammates. I can't do the play any justice, so here's Toma and Negatron to walk us through this unbelievable play from week number 2.
The longer time that the more time that you waste, the more it favors Refuse Gaming in the defense here. Do you think that they just maybe have to send, oh, there we go, Oxmathus getting a beautiful shot onto KT on that T-54. I'm not sure if that was that a blind shot?
That is possible. I mean, where KT is it's not particularly easy to see.
Oh my gosh, Oxmathus
my
picking up KT in the T-54, showing that he is the boss in that M44 artillery tank. A beautiful pickup there. Oxmathus doing work. What a great opening. Let's see how I will just now, though, David, can use that being a tank down on the side of Refuse Gaming.
Our Artie Lord and Savior has secured a push.
Oxmathus was truly a beast in his M44 in the match against Team Refuse with an average damage of 1,380. Not a bad showing if anyone had them on their fantasy team. And my apologies go out to Christian Toma for having picked me for his team on Tuesday night. Unfortunately, I have a very particular set of skills that weren't needed by my captain that night. I hope you can recover in the upcoming weeks. The Fantasy League is a quarter of the way through, and congratulations to Captain Blood, who still sits atop the leaderboard. He has won a tight 59 and 3,500 gold for his quarterly first place finish. Canaduck has dropped 1 place to 3rd, and Brigadier General Elizabeth has taken over in 2nd. Your top 7 pro players by points per battle are Vextrosity, Synergy 3K, Swipple, having only played 6 games, is once again a top pick, Arklet, World War II Fanatic, Drogon Pro, and Godzilla Mode. This week's Fantasy 1v1 challenger was Racer 24524, and we had very similar thoughts about which pros to take on both nights, only ever having 3 different players on each night. After going up 109 points in the first night, I was hoping to catch back up. That comeback would revolve around the Simp and #RU game, and Racer correctly predicted #RU's win that gave him the edge needed to beat me out. Congratulations on getting some of my gold, Racer. I'll be contacting you soon to claim your prize. Next week's challenge has been drawn, and it's B-Ted. It's going to be a hard week for me, as he is WGLNA's #1 fan. Good luck, B-Ted. And that's it for the week number 2 of the WGLNA. Be sure to check out the special trade deadline episode where we'll cover all the roster moves for the first trade period. And then don't forget to tune in to www.battleviewer.com to catch all the new rosters in action on week number 3. I'll be back next week, but until then, at ease.